Yes, my mic. Attention. I remember that.
Good morning, viewers. You're welcome to today's broadcast. It is done once again. I'm Michael Adekule. We say a big thank you for supporting us. We say thank you for staying glued to your number one newspaper review program. You're welcome, Vincent. How are you doing, sir?
Thank you very much, Michael Adekule. Today, as usual, today is another Friday, and also coincidentally, we're also marking the Democracy Day, June 12. A lot has happened, and our democracy has taken so many routes, and we are all here to dissect most of the happenings and topical issues confronting the nation. Then still, I don't want to sound discourteous. I want to say very good morning to our esteemed viewer globally, and good morning, Nigeria. And most especially, I want to also use this morning to say thank you to Mrs. Tina and the rest of the other reviewers that have kept faith with this great platform. Dr. Tuche, Mrs. Clara, the list is endless. It does a chima. I want to say very good morning to you all. GA, Baba Yaga, good morning to you.
All right, global analyst OJ, welcome to the program.
Mr. Mike, good morning, sir. God bless you. You are most welcome to this August day in Nigeria, June 12 day. June 12, 1993 was the day the whole incident happened. I'm saying good morning to all our global viewers all over the world. Mrs. Tina, may God bless you, ma, for your consistency, for blessing, for keeping faith with this stand, for always continue to remember us and be blessing us. May God replenish your pockets in great. But and the rest also William Baba Jovani and the rest of benefactors of this platform. May God strengthen every one of you. Yes, other viewers are most welcome. I'm Mr. Ojolade. Thank you very much. I say happy Democracy Day, Nigeria. It's a public holiday in Nigeria.
It's a happy Democracy Day. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu marked June 12 with a nationwide address, issuing a stern warning to his people or those sponsoring banditry, kidnapping, and other criminal activities across Nigeria. He also told them to surrender, or else you will face the penalty. All right, we'll be looking at it this morning. The speech of Mr. President. Good morning to you, Imafidon. You're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mafidon.
Good morning.
All right, Ibona Kingsley is here with us. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate your presence this morning. But before going to what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said this morning, let's quickly rush to the Punch newspaper. It seems state police is getting the attention we want, the issue of state police. All right, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, Democracy Day address, terror financiers will pay dearly says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. All we need is action. Action is what we need. All right, state police closer as National Assembly defines federal state powers. State police closer as National Assembly defines federal state powers. Tinubu confers national honors on ex-Punch MD Oshinubu. Babatope orders. Xenophobia. South Africa repatriates 586 Nigerians to the next one. Over 124,000 terrorist dependents surrender in 3 years. Who is saying this? This is coming from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's on his nationwide address this morning. And he also said about 13,000 terrorists were killed. Terror-related deaths down by 81% since 2015. All these are coming from Mr. President. All right, so Katsina, police arrest 225 suspects, rescue 17 kidnapped victims in Katsina. Police arrest 225 suspects, rescue 17 kidnapped victims in Katsina. Driver napped as speeding truck kills Rivers WAEC candidates, motorcyclists. All right, we have many stories here, but we need to stop here and move straight to what we have this morning. Democracy, democracy, democracy. June 12th is what we are discussing this morning. How well has Nigeria democracy delivered on the promises made since 1999? 1999.
Yes.
That was the beginning of democracy in Nigeria. All right, so how far have we gone?
It has been mixed development. We have called mixed. Instead that we have recorded some blessings. Yes.
Have we recorded progress?
We have
achievements?
We have recorded some progress. Yes. And we also recorded some, losses. It's both. Cost of what we are doing here is a product of democracy.
Of freedom of speech?
No, this technology we are using here. Yes. These were done by Obasanjo regime. Democracy. This the so-called this kind of internally recorded booth, GSM and the rest. Yes, the innovation we have in technology now in communication was brought by democracy, and the other crime fighting institution that was also established. Yes, EFCC is a part of democracy. LCPC is a part of democracy. NCC, which is the mother of this communication aspect of industry, is a part of democracy. So, Mr. Mike, there are blessings we have received in democracy, and there are also losses. There are also development that, in fact, is took up backward. Like our electionary system didn't get improved at all. It got worsened. Our election does not speak volume of whom we are or whom we cast our vote for. Our vote didn't catch up to now. After since 1999, if you go to any election, we are only fulfilling our national requirement, national service, national civic responsibility placed on us to go out and cast for our vote. Our vote does not count if up to now. Yes. So these are the losses we have recorded. And in terms of economic development, there are some successes we also we got in terms of economic development. Yes, there are some institutions that came on board that really improve living standard of people. But at the same time, corruption marks some of them and makes some of them go under. So it's a bit, that's why I say it's a mixed plus and minus. But the one that will have stood most of all will have been our electionary system, which will have, the process of election, process of electing, selection, yes, we select from the party, then elect to public office, will have been the best. That if you have gotten that one right, Mr. Mike, I will have just told you we have gotten almost, I will have scored our democracy 90%. But our electoral system, the laws the education process in case of where they are giving us.
That's our biggest threat.
It's the biggest losses we have ever recorded in the as far as democracy is concerned. And once we've not gotten that particular one right, our electoral system, we have not gotten right. It's like we have gotten. If I may score our success in democracy, I will score more than 45%. I will score 50%. Because the moment you are able to get the perfect electoral system that will bring the best leaders on board, who will give us good policy, good development, good strategy and everything to better our life, we have not made appreciable progress. So that's my so because we have not gotten our electoral system right, I will score democracy up to 50%, maximum between 40 to 45%. Every other things, technology, economy, social services, other aspects, I score I need rate more than 40 to 45%, not even to 50%, because the one we have shooted is upward. We have built our electoral system, which we have just given it a quantum leap of high performance, of high dividends of democracy. So we have not achieved that. We have just make just barely pass mark of development and democracy. That's my scoring.
All right, Mr. Vincent, thanks for joining me once again.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, what's the significance of today, and what are the biggest threats currently facing our democratic institution?
You see, democracy, June 12, serve as a kind of a significant moment where Nigeria could have gotten it right. But sadly enough, it was bungled by the khaki boys, then led by, it started from General Ibrahim Babangida and given a vent to by General Sonia Abacha. Sadly enough, it ought to have been a watershed in the tapestry of Nigerian democratic projects. But a situation whereby, up to this moment, a situation whereby we have not had, a situation whereby we ought to move forward by taking a quantum leap in order to keep pace with some egalitarian society where democracy is running on a sound footing. But sadly enough, all the people, all the gladiators that ought to, do the right thing, they tend to be working across purposes. That is why you see that our democracy experiment is a bit punctured. And more so, when you look at the institutional setup, are they well grounded? Starting from, democracy embodies the three tiers of government. That's the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. How much of the workings of separation of power have we seen them do? A situation whereby, when a policy is being made, it will run contrary to what the legislators they agreed upon. Is that the kind of democracy that we want to run? These are some of the pointers that I will say that, much as I will say that, give or take, democracy, give us some form of liberty. But now, under this administration and the one before it, they have made nonsense of our democracy. It's not what is obtainable in other civilized life that we are operating, which is why that we are where we are as a result of not doing the needful concerning our democratic projects.
All right, we have comments in the comment section. We need to read these comments out. GOA says, Happy Democracy Day to Nigeria and to those in captivity for over 1 month in Oyo. Is it up to 1 month?
Yes, May 15.
Close to a month. Okay. Looks like Nigerian government has forgotten them, says GOA. And it goes on. Nigeria has 230,000 armed force personnel Nigeria has 230,000 armed force personnel, but over 100,000 terrorists have repented in 3 years. It goes on. Democracy is dependent on voting. So what? So what's democracy? As so what? Okay, I think you say democracy has failed in Nigeria. Simple. What we have is civilian rule.
Yes.
GOA goes on again. Nigeria did not move the democracy from local to federal levels. Nigerians cannot freely choose their leaders and representatives. The country moved to civilian rule, not democracy.
Yes, I agree with you.
You agree with me?
Exactly. The difference between democracy and civilian rule. Democracy, it involves the choice of people. It's the people that determine the choice and the outcome. The people have the choice, they exercise it, and the choice must be the outcome. The outcome must be what they chosen. It's not that it gets manipulated, somewhere along the way. But what we have related to now is civilian government. That is, some people who they are camouflaging as if they are deceiving us as if we are one democracy. Whereas it's a civilian style of government, system of government that we are having. It's not a democratic system. Democracy means people themselves will determine who emerges as their leader, who they are submitting their sovereignty, part of the sovereignty to, who they are putting for as a trust to come and hold the office on their behalf, to administer justice, policy, development, everything on their behalf. So for them not to have been able to do that for people's choice not to have been reflected every time, that is rather something else that that is a return to us as outcome of our choice, is no longer democracy. Another one is that there must be rule of law in democracy. There must checks and balances. Now executive can come up with madness, with any kind of mad policy. The National Assembly is there to separate them. Therefore, four functions on them. They oversight on them. They make law. We represent them, and they have resolution. So they must institute checks and balances on them. And judiciary is to interpret the law and cause the excesses, clip the wings of any member of the two arms of government who wants to go mad, go anywhere. These are things that is embedded in democracy. But opposite is what we are seeing in Nigeria. So the person who said we have the civilian government instead of democracy, I 100% agree with him. So, but Mr. Mike, we need to start from somewhere. If you go back to those countries of the world now who are celebrating over 100 years of democracy, they passed through what they call teaching period of their development, their democratic journey. US is celebrating over 260 years of democracy. France and co, Britain, and they all passed through some stages. So yes, so I believe that we are also passing through it. We shouldn't abandon it. That's what we are doing here every day. Talking to the government, talking to the system, make sure that until they have a change in the system, we begin to have something that will be acceptable to us. We must not give up, we must not surrender. So that's what happens. So I agree with him that.
All right, gentlemen, Mike, you're welcome to the program. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Democracy is what we're discussing June 12. And I asked, how well has Nigeria's democracy delivered on the promise on the promises made since 1999? Has democracy done us more harm than good, or good than harm? Have we recorded any achievements since we got into democracy?
Thank you. I think we have not done much in terms of the deliverables when it comes to the 27 years of our democracy since 1999 that we moved into civil rule. And the sad part of it is that some of the things that we have accused the military of doing when they were in the saddle, democratic government have done worse. And that is why it is so painful that what we expect to have seen by embracing democratic rule is not being seen. Is not being seen at the moment. It is, for instance, when it comes to rule of law, these are tenets. These are guidance. These are things. These are values. These are values of democracy. These are things that these are democratic values, as it were. I'm trying not to be distracted by what's going on. The rule of law is pivotal when it comes to democracy or democratic rule. How much of it have we seen in terms of the rule of law guiding each of our steps? Fairness, equity, and all of these values. How much of it has Nigerians seen in a democratic rule? We still have people having to pursue cases in courts endlessly. Before you know it, the substance of cases is ignored, and we embrace technicalities. Cases are knocked off on the basis of technicalities and all of that. These are values that are being eroded. Yet we feel that it shouldn't be in a democracy. These are things that we have known the military of, forcing their way through, getting whatever they want out, irrespective of the method. Yet in the civilian government, such is still being seen. I give another example. Another example is corruption. We accuse the military of massive corruption. They are not accountable to anybody. They can spend anything, they can divert any fund. Yet it hasn't left the democratic system of ours. Even as of today, as we speak, NNPC is being accused of not being able to account for about 210 trillion naira in this country. How do we explain that? We saw Adams Oshiomhole speaking passionately over this issue on the floor, and yet the leadership of the Senate is trivializing this matter as if we can walk around it, because NNPC over the years have become the cash cow for most of the presidents. We don't even have substantive Minister of Petroleum. They take charge of that area because they know that is where the money is. So when you have accused the military of siphoning money, looting the treasury, and yet the same is still ongoing in the democratic government. These are not tenets of democracy. These are tainted the democratic values and all of that. So it is unfortunate that Nigerians have not gotten much. In my submission now, Nigerians have not benefited much in democratic government.
All right. Since 1999, I think we've had about 5 presidents. I'm not making a mistake. Yes. I started corrected.
Yes.
Obasanjo, Jonathan, Yar'Adua, Buhari, and the current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yes. Have we ever had a democratic leader?
You see, to some extent, Mike, I will be mistaken if I shy away from the governor's administration, the short-lived governor's administration of President Umaru Yar'Adua, the late because that man gave us what I would say a semblance of a direction of a democratic project. But sadly enough, other government that took after him didn't really continue that good work. Because if the pace with which the late President Umaru Yar'Adua started that democratic project, also let me not just even foreclose my eyes to the some of the good attributes being displayed by Obasanjo too. Because you recall at the time Nigeria was heavily indebted to all this Bretton Woods institution, and Obasanjo came up with an idea and went to the IMF, the Paris Club, and everything to give us a kind of a reprieve of debt relief, which was totally cancelled. But today, what do we have? Nigeria is still very much indebted. You see, if I believe that if government is a continuum, why can't successive government also leverage on what Obasanjo did, so that we will have, we'll shut a course. Go and see what Ibrahim Traore is doing. He's a khaki boy. Go and see what he's doing in Burkina Faso. But at times when we say democracy, it falls under the ambit of rhetoric, because people are no longer doing what the statute book says. They tend to manipulate. There are a lot of lacuna in our constitution, even though the constitution itself is predicated on falsehood, because the people that contrive or concocted that constitution concocted it under the basement of falsehood. How can you say the first liner of that constitution too? We Nigerian people, we the people, where was the plebiscite conducted? Who were the people that participated in mooting that constitution before it came to be? These are some of the salient points we should be asking ourselves. And when we are talking about democracy projects, there are a lot of canons need to be infused into it. You talk about equity, you talk about rule of law. There must be institutional setup must be firmly embedded that will drive the process. A situation whereby all these things are absent, or even seemingly present, but it's not doing. It's been misinterpreted by the gladiators or the actors of the policy. That is why we are where we are. Instead of moving forward, we are moving in circle. You recall our great woman also came the other time. I'm talking about Mrs. Okoje-Uyola. When he came, they were trying to cloak truth in diplomatics. This is a woman who is currently the DG of a World Trade Organization. When he was being asked about our economy, you can see most of the John Dice indices being flaunted at our face by government, saying that economy has improved. If the economy has improved, I believe that a common sense dictum that one should draw is that if it has improved, then there must have been some savings somewhere. But today we are in an orgy, a spiral of borrowing. Then does it tell you with whether the economy has improved? I'm not against a country borrowing. If you borrow, let it be done for what it is intended to be done with. But a situation whereby that woman came that seemingly we can see some flashes, but there's no growth. That is stunted. The economy is stunted. There's no two way about it. But today, are we not witnesses to what is happening in the economy? As a result of this John Dice economy, economy statistic that is being put before us by the government of the day. I want to believe that even constructive criticism is also a part of social engineering in a democracy. And when you criticize constructively, how best the government develop a listening ear to what you say, without even putting political coloration to it. These are some of the points that is absent in our democratic projects. And sadly enough, we are where we are because as a result of that, the people that are driving the process, they seem not to be democratic in their veins. They are just being autocratic. And at best, most of them say they are even worse than the military regime that we've had. That is why we are where we are. And again, also, when you look at our democracy project is so expensive, very, very expensive, and it's also constituting a drain on the national resources. That is why you see, how can you say, okay, take for instance, the security votes. How much of those security have been deployed into security matters? Then other things too, when you look at the entire indices, then you see that are they really, what are the functionality, percentage? Then it abysmally low. That is why we are where we are. Is a far cry to what is obtainable in other civilized countries. I beg to submit.
I mentioned about 5 presidents.
Yes.
Under democracy rule.
Yes.
Is there anyone that has shown or portrayed democratic traits?
Mr. Mike, all the presidents we've ever had, there are mixed in their behavior, in their policy, in their character as a president. We have mixed of developments in many of them. Like Obasanjo show a character of nationalistic leader.
Obasanjo?
Yes, a nationalistic leader, and a leader does not condone I mean, that does not approve corruption. All the decision of corruption fighting was set by Obasanjo government. It brought it to book. EFCC, NSIU, ICPC, Obasanjo brought them to EFCC. Obasanjo brought them to SSN. And then there are major reforms in our economic development. See, I disagree with the president on so many forms, but there are some many grounds I agree with him. Okay. Yes, he brought about a lot of reforms. Apart from fighting institutions that he established, like those ones I've mentioned, there's a lot of reform he also brought. Like this telecommunication, it was engineered by Obasanjo. It was his regime that sold the 3 licenses to MTN, Econet Wireless at that time, and Glo later joined. So, and you can see we are here in Ogba Boso. People are watching what we are doing. So there are some of them that have nationalistic outlook. They fight corruption, but on the other hand, just as Obasanjo, I'm giving kudos on this area. It's the same man who said the election is a do or die. Yes, we have to. That's what I'm saying. It's mixed. It's the same person. Do or die election. Yes, in Nigeria. Yes. So you see, I'm passing in the areas. I agree with him. I'm also telling the area he constitutes a menace to us in our democratic journey.
Is he a democratic leader?
That's why I say it's mixed. We have a blessing, we have a curse from them as well. So
is it democratic in this?
It's not that's not democracy. That's not democracy. Now when you say let's just do or die, that means our vote will not count. Of course, you see a massive rigging. A lot of, I mean, doing his own tenure was even worse. Our electoral system was very worse.
Mr. Vincent mentioned Yaradua.
That's in my next point of call. Yes, it's unfortunate we didn't have that man for years, for up to about 8 years. This is the man when he came to office said the process that brought me to power is fraudulent. He admitted it. For some reason, he declares is what's it called? Is a poverty. What's it called? It's asset. He declared he made it open. None of our president ever declared the asset. Making known. He declared what he had. I publicized it. The whole world know this is what Mr. President Yaradua had. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate we never had that man for years of 8 years. If you had that man, I think that man would have shaped our democracy properly. We would have sorted some anomalies, some corruption. We explain that the democratic institution. Another person I also give a thumb to is President Goodluck Jonathan. This is the man who understands what power is, but it's just to be humane, to be democratic, to be a servant. Yes. This is a man that is commander-in-chief. He knows how to manipulate that power to favor him. The guy he never met the guy before. Instead, the guy said he never met president. So he brought somebody who he gave a free and fair election for Nigerians. If I lose, I lose. And when he lost, even before the result was fully counted, he has called his challenger's opponent. Congratulations. And peacefully he left the place. So there are some of them that show thinness of democracy. But as much as we have them, as that's on their part, we also recall some bad side of them. Okay, corruption was we are told corruption was the highest under Jonathan government. Of course, what brought about is corruption of government. So there's none of them that we have platform that we never get negative. It's a mix we have gotten from them. But if I must give my kudos to the best of them, I think I'll pick 3. I pick Obasanjo, I pick Yaradua, and I pick Jonathan. The rest, Buhari and Tinubu, they are Libyan. I give them that. I put them in their own class. They have their own class. I put them.
Your current president,
Mr. Mike, my current president, on 2 occasions. I used 2 things to tell the government that is very good. The standard of living and cost of living. He brought a policy. The policy never thought of. He never. I mean, when we were in school now, before exam is coming, we go to classes, we go and read to prepare for exam now. You just go to exam and be studying and be asked without preparation. You study. You should have studied that decision. It's a good decision.
He said he had been preparing for the job.
He didn't. That decision
to 20 years.
The decision of that removal, he didn't study it, Mr. Mike. That decision, he did not rehearse it. He didn't study it. It's a good decision. All of them, all the 3 leading candidates said.
Subsidy is gone.
Yes,
it's gone.
All the 3 leading candidates said they will remove it. My candidate that for Obi said he will remove it. Atiku said the same thing. He said the same thing. Removal is not the issue. But before you do that, you take that decision. What have you done your spade? What have you done your due diligence of what would this effect be on the people? How do I mitigate the influences upon the people? It just I call it a drunken statement, a drunken decision.
All right, let's move to the comment section. Benga David Ogungbemi says, "Good morning, reviewers."
Good morning, sir.
All right, and he says, "Democracy is characterized by rigging of elections, manipulation, violence by political actors.
Yes.
This is not what we call democracy."
Exactly.
All right, USA Tinubu has wasted 3 years plus looking for potential team while living costs of Nigerians skyrocket and citizens are kidnapped en mass inside bush, e.g. Oyo and Borno. Nathaniel Labo is here and is saying, how many years did it take Tinubu to destroy Nigerian economy?
You see, Mike, I want to say something here. You see, at times it would be wrong for me to say there has been no gain. But one thing is that how have we been able to, affirm those gains so that it trickle down on the lives of the majority of Nigerians? I want to believe democracy is centered around the people. And sovereignty, they say, lies with the people. But how much of participation has the people, had in past when democracy, journey started? But when you look at what is playing out now, it's like a script by some few selected people, because they are privileged to burrow themselves into the throes of governance. That is why we are where we are. And when you look at everything, if the people are to determine who to govern them, I don't think that the present crop of leaders will, they will, be opportune to even get to that power.
With what people are saying outside, outside this place, I'm talking about netizens, Nigerians, their reactions about democracy and what we are saying here. It seems like democracy has not really favored us. Don't you think we should consider military rule?
You see,
back to the military
no, let me just before the now, we've had a lot of conferences where people sat down to decide how we are going to coexist. And I can still recall Orosaye's report. And the other one, I've forgotten the other one now. I cannot recall it now. All these reports, are they just meant to be kept under the shelf? They are to be implemented. They are to be implemented. That is why you see that when you see what is happening in Nigeria today, is that any government that comes, instead of leveraging on whatever the good points, the gains of whatever the previous government had done, then they tend to also jettison it and try to carve a niche for themselves and start another process all over.
Like that, a military rule?
No, because military rule
regime, was it like that?
Military regime is less expensive, but you know that if we want to have an egalitarian society, then when you make case or advocate for military regime to be in place, you might also be denied your fundamental human rights as to liberty. But as usual, is that the sad commentary here is that the players of our democracy project, they tend to just shy away from what it ought to be. That is why we are where we are. As much as I will say that a military setup is less expensive compared to civilian rule. Because in civilian rule, you see, when a bill is going to be passed, it has to go through the house. You can see the processes. It will drag for so much a longer time before it can be accepted to. If it doesn't favor the president and his ilks, then he might not see the light of the day.
All right, Nathaniel Abu says the worst of Obasanjo as a president is the best of Tinubu. Is that true?
I agree with him.
I agree with him.
I agree with him.
Yeah.
I agree with him.
I agree in total with him because because when you look at what is happening now, when you look at what is happening now, because you will see that there is a lot of problem. You understand? And if you take Obasanjo, if you compare it, juxtapose it with this thing, there is a cliche here, Olofa. You understand? You see, then you there's no way you can compare the two, because Obasanjo is far taller in terms of delivery and achievement.
Yes.
Because this was a government where while he held sway, he brought technocrats. He never used politicians as a benchmark of running his government. You know, during his regime, he brought the likes of Okojo-Iweala. We saw Madam Due Process, Gosele. You know, these were really going. Then we saw a lot of all those Amazons, if I were to call them. Soludo, but now Soludo has decided to veer off from the north, because he used to be somebody that I dug my heart for, but not any longer. Because when you now look at what is playing out, you will see that you cannot compare Obasanjo regime with what is obtainable now.
Yes, Mr. Mike, I agree with him. I who said Obasanjo government, if you put it on pedestal of measurements of comparison, Obasanjo government, I've eliminated some of the good moments of Obasanjo. I've eliminated some of the good moments of Obasanjo. Those decisions he laid, the foundation he laid. I mentioned the crime fighting institution that we are still posting of today. It's all from Obasanjo, and I thought of some of the major reforms he did. Now the provision we are enjoying is from him. What was economic experts, technocrats he brought, like Okojo-Iweala, who in fact Obasanjo ensured that our debts were paid. Everything was paid. He left a zero account. Zero debt account. Mike, when he was in power, get my point? Zero. So when you measure the period of Obasanjo government, so when you compare the period of Obasanjo government, get my point? When you consider Obasanjo period with Tinubu, it's a far distance. It's a different pedestal. Obasanjo government, I mean, if it's scoring higher than what Tinubu has done. Then so I agree with the man who said that Obasanjo can never be compared with because the landmark achievement in reforms, economic, that Obasanjo did, that cannot be compared with Tinubu. Far different from it.
What I want to say is that Soludo Obasanjo destroyed the country. And they meant to these people because they don't get their length to know what is going on in this country. Nigerian have Naira and Kobo. Soludo destroyed our Kobo. And that's why we have a problem for inflation. The Kobo cannot buy again. That can we now. Nigerian currency no have weight again. Kobo 100 Kobo is 1 Naira. If they buy something before. So before Kobo buy, come enter 1 Naira. You don't buy something to full your house. Soludo and Obasanjo destroyed that thing. These people don't know. You understand me? You don't talk as a wise man. You are in this country. I'm 45 years. I'm not a child in this country now.
45.
I'm 45 years.
Just 45.
Just 45. So I don't cry. Of course now, I don't cry for 45 years. So I know what happened in this country. So I know people will spoil the country. I know people will try to fix the country. So Tinubu and Obasanjo turned this country upside down to this point. They destroy what Nigerian face. Now economy Naira finish us. You collect 20 million is nothing. Carry 10 million, enter market, you buy something, you put it back. That's what destroyed the country. Not be any problem now. Nigeria no have problem. Our road is good. We are going to everywhere we want to go. Our airport is okay. Our seaport, what masses suffer because of the currency. That's what you don't understand. Our masses suffer because of currency. What Obasanjo and Soludo do? The currency destroyed by coin, doping and turn 1 Naira about Macaulay to what? To coin. It's supposed to be paper. We have Naira and Kobo, but Nigeria forget Kobo. America still use cent. Britain still use that. What are we talking about? No country that use coin. Obasanjo and Soludo destroy that thing.
come to the stage. Continue.
So we need to understand who destroyed Nigeria. Don't give credit to people that don't exist. That's why I'm going to angry. Person where you see that person never come yet. We are still looking for the person. Call is still bring it. He will bring it come. They don't claim to say Obasanjo, Serudo. They are all fake. Join with Tinubu. Tinubu pick from what they drop. Obasanjo increase 12 pass for entire Nigeria, and I didn't increase 12. He made it with 20 naira a liter. I mean 14 kobo. I mean either 20. I think 20 naira. MLM increased to 70,000, 70 naira. Now, Jaradwa bring it down to 65 naira. Those are the people that bring us to this condition. And every government come from that step and increase fuel. Come from that step and increase fuel. Come from that step and increase fuel. Today we buy 1,300 naira a liter. So we should talk truth. See my megaphone. I'm a man of God. I know what I'm talking. I don't get time for any rubbish.
Go pray for Nigeria.
So the power of this government destroyed Obasanjo and Charles Trudeau. They spoil our economy, spoil our currency, and turn our currency upside down. Even continue here, see use coin. Even all countries in Africa on earth see use coin. Why are we using only paper? Now, 15 naira is in the street, 10 naira in the street. Can you type 10 pounds in the street? Or $10 in the street? So 5 naira is in the street. Can you type 5 pounds? It's invalid. Now it's in the street, people just pass by.
Who is the best president you've ever had? Best president so far.
Maybe it's supposed to be that Jaradwa. Who said no? But they know he died in power. Supposed to be that Jaradwa who come in and say no. Even all the cases that people win, people have in the court, they don't make them to succeed their case. He bring fuel from what is the only man that shut down fuel down. From 17, he collect all what was in your cell. All the property that was in your cell for privatization. You collect it back to Nigeria. He said refinery now. Obasanjo bring all to sell. Yes, Obasanjo bring and sell all the property and give to individual. And the Yoruba people are buying it. And now put us to privatize. Nobody can manage our economy again. You know, enter for the hands of people. They do as they like. Obasanjo is the one that bring contract work. You sell this 300,000. They give you 150. Another person chop 150. That's a job. I want to tell you what they are. I'm not a child in this country. I'm a politician. I know what they are. I know what they do.
Man of God,
I'm a politician. True Christ.
Still a man of God.
Of course, I'm a politician. So I know what is going on in this country. I know the person that destroyed the country. Obasanjo, Serudo, and co. destroyed this country. John God, after Obasanjo could not come and control good luck. After good luck leave, this man carry broom, sweep and come out. It's still the same thing, people. He sweep the good luck come out. We asked him, what about the broom? He said the broom he bring to sweep bad people. It's one that bad pass now. That broom didn't sweep anything. He sweep different monster. So we should speak the truth. I don't pay here for you, Watson. Media help me. Sometimes they send me. I don't have to stand here to lie because of you to say, you to send me something. I'm going to tell you the truth. Obasanjo, all Yoruba interpart that come to this nation, from Obasanjo down to Obasanjo, turn to all of them, they turn this nation to goof we are seeing today. Their character in ruling a nation is not accepted. Very good for other things. They help me. I like them. But when we talk about government, they bad like shit.
How about
There's nothing. A party is controlled by what? By Senate. He not party by agreement of the Senate. He cannot knock the party.
every man
I'm coming now. Every man listen to me. I'm coming now. Every man I'm coming now. I have problem with women. Abi? Solomon have problem with women. Abi? Many people have problem with women. This man in American president, Bill Clinton, they have problem with women.
What are you
talking
about?
You not kill integrity of him. What I'm trying to say, everybody have problem with what women. I love you over here. I only of it. You have problem with women. So if a Fabio have problem with women, you don't tell them not to sit down in the seat of this Senate president. And whatever they agree, because you knock the panel. Nobody ever said to him. Never said anybody. Never say anybody in the Senate.
Which one has the Obama agreed for what Nigeria? Which one? I'm coming. Which one? I'm begging. The president. You need to do it. I'm telling you, you need to do it. Okay? From the beginning till now. When he came into power, and when they came to power, we know. No, that's another issue. This is not an honest issue. Give me something. Bros, make I talk to you. What I'm telling you is that in the history of Nigeria, as long as I've known that, so what did he do? You know, what did he do? Agbe has contributed. What did he do now? No, it's your ego. It's your ego that only know to him. Is there any Latin? It's your ego that only know to him. Is there any Latin? Who's going to cry in the Senate because of him? Brought to Nigeria. What to do is the senator. What is your president? I'm coming. Not the senator. Senate president. I give you Senate president. I will keep you know. And I want to tell you that the Senate is an institution. Okay. The checkmate, the executive. Okay. Right now. All right. Bro, I watch the ongoing problem now that is in the Senate. The borders around 210 trillion. NPC money, which about your cell phone. Okay. Okay. Is he going to jail? Okay, I'm coming. What are you talking about? Somebody will do something. No, I'm telling you now. I'm asking you something. No, I'm telling you. So that one alone is something. So I'm telling you, don't just bring the issue of Ababio here. Please. We are just we are going to excuse him. Thank you, Mr. Ababio, for being the worst president in the history of Nigeria. I will just mention one. The issue of electoral acts reform, he manipulated it. One people were saying, no, he said, in a camp. Okay, see, you cannot continue to bow down to goodness activity. Okay, now, you said, Fabio, you're talking about all the 30 states of the Federation be in the Senate. Abi? And all of them is answering to one that if anything be agreed and seal, Ababio not be pardoned. Nobody wake up in that Senate say, Ababio, you knock that thing and never agree. No protested. What of them were protested. What are you talking about? Where? Is there anything? Electoral act, they protested. Who's senator? Can you mention the senator? What are you talking about? Can you mention the name? Governor Natasha. I mentioned it now. Natasha, do mention it. Natasha, I said the corrupt. If you want to, where you come from? If you want to open the case of Natasha, Ababio should be president. I said because you cannot be sleeping with Natasha. He said it's the National Assembly. It's an abomination. It's an abomination. I can't be the man seeing another man's wife. Don't worry about it. Now, I should not worry about it. David kill somebody. Don't talk about credibility here. We are talking about democracy, and we are looking at democracy actually impacted lives in Nigeria. Okay, fine. Now, I've told you, you mentioned Abadibe. Abadibe, no, he said make I mention one person. I mentioned Abadibe. Who is he? Where did he come from? He does not matter where he come from. Thank you. But you are abusing about people. I'm coming now. All about Abadibe there. Your problem is him. No, I'm coming now. Because even problem is what Abadibe there. Because why sit down for that seat and you are not sitting down. Know that face on your heart. You can't lie that one for God. So this foundation of you targeting Abadibe there for Senate president. When everybody create almost about how many member agree for party before you not party. You now say party. I'm coming. Nobody, I'm coming. Nobody ever tell party before. Say I don't agree in that thing you not. Have you watched the recent one? The recent one was challenging him. That's Senate 4, and the only how many people support him? How many people support him in the Senate? What happened to his character? Because you say your people have done this.
I'm coming.
You say your people have done this.
Why am I talking? I don't talk. I don't lie for what I talk.
No, you are lying because you are coming from.
I don't lie. I'm coming.
Come, federalistic point of view. You are lying. You are abusing your people. You are a liar. You say that. You say your people have brought the Jordan. You are talking about your own brother. Akpabio. Please don't lie. You are inventing your people. Many other people. You mention Yoruba people. You run down Yoruba people. You say Nigeria been spoiled by Yoruba people. You are not bringing your own brother Akpabio going from your state. You are saying all the roads. The atrocity is committing in the Senate.
He said it's a bad thing.
Yeah, accept it. Oh, you say that. So that's your own body. Your own body. Your own too. As a brother in Nigeria.
I accept it. That Akpabio bad in the Senate, but let the people who they for Senate, take him to court, and you know, agree for you to knock that thing and you knock. That's what I'm saying. Everybody in the Senate, call him.
What are you knocking?
Why are you knocking? Why that thing you used to knock? Every time you knock, loan you knock, this one you knock, Natasha you knock. Why are you knocking that thing? Nobody take Akpabio to anybody. In the Senate, all of them agree with him at last. So what I'm trying to tell you, that talking about someone that turned the nation to what we are today. It's not a bad.
It's not what.
It's not a bad. Soludo and Obasanjo. Simple, right? I'm coming. They turned this country to what we have seen today. Now I want to tell you, that's Soludo Gozibo man. That Obasanjo was a Yoruba man. So check the country balancing. When they come meet the country, here, people want to talk. Where I'm coming. They come meet the country with what? 15 naira note. And we are going to reduce up to what 1,000 note. And we are suffering the pain of that 1,000 note today. That's okay. There's nothing left. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So you need to understand. So don't deceive yourself. Yoruba destroy our country. We want them to that's it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, well, highly welcome. I want to thank God for being there again, for His safety upon us, and I want to say again, Madam Tina, I need to just give my own praises on the set that you've been there for us. Yeah, Madam Tina, God bless you. I received the largest of the money. I thank God for you, and I thank God for your generation to come. Mike, deliver what you sent for me. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I will say the others too. I want to say thank you to everybody that's been supporting and that's been watching us. God bless you all.
I also want to say a big thank you to Mrs. Tina, for what she has been doing consistently on the platform. And also Madam Clara, these are people who have, always identified with us. And so many others that I cannot mention their name. I want to say that God will continue to bless you. Mr. Mike, I want to appreciate you this morning for your patience and, the high level of professionalism you are displaying here. It's not easy to manage human beings. We can see some of the things that happen around with individual differences, but you are able to manage everyone. I want to really appreciate you for that.
Thank you so much. All right. We heard what Nathaniel Abu said. He's one of our viewers. Yeah. He said the worst of Obasanjo as president, Obasanjo former president, the worst of him as a president is the best of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
I think it's totally fallacy that is just saying, and I can say before I even go fallacy, yes, yeah, but just pardon me to stand on the existing protocol. I think the people that really suffer for that democracy are not the people that are enjoying it. Where is Ubani? Where is Ubani today? Ubani is no more. And he died through that democracy agenda. And where he is today, nobody celebrating. Ubani, yes, from the southeast, is is an agitator. Where did they recognize his presence in the celebration? They need to recognize all those people that drop their blood for this democracy we are enjoying today. and the likes of the Mr. President himself, it make a big role. He brought a Gani Fawa in me, then Baba Adesoya, in which Abacha sent bundle of AK-77 to get him killed, and they were firing that man. They were firing his car. There was no, it could not penetrate. The likes of Bolage, the likes of the same guy that's Kokori. So the people that don't even know about the democracy, they are the ones that celebrate democracy. Because I remember when they were to Sergeant Roger were to kill Kudi, we all thought we saw him pass it in a car. Suddenly, the breaking news came that Kudirat has been assassinated. So anybody that is coming here and say democracy, celebrating democracy, the same president, he went through the bad, the good, and the ugly, in which Abacha said, get Tinubu alive or dead. Get him alive for me.
The question I asked you now.
Yeah, I'm just
what Nathaniel Abu wrote in the comment section.
I don't know him, and I don't want to know him.
He said the worst of President Bola, the former president Olusegun Obasanjo as a president there, is the best of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If you understand what he's trying to say,
that Mr. Ara is the worst that he never had, but he should think, has his think cap, a ticking cap. Likewise.
What's ticking cap?
Yes, because Obasanjo was me. I know.
It means Obasanjo performed better than
he was able to
sway government. It was better,
but Obasanjo was ruling his government with a fiat. Some of the military fiat. Calm down. Military fiat, in which you cannot do under the fiat. Yes, okay. Under the democracy. Yes, Obasanjo. Who is
the commander-in-chief now?
He was the commander-in-chief.
Now current commander-in-chief.
But the kind of, if you get what I'm saying, well, right? Obasanjo, when he was
who is in charge of the military now?
Who is in charge now? But you cannot compare a military, a down-rooted military, with Tinubu that is a politician, and you can't compare that. And I can tell you heartedly, when they are trying to compare Obasanjo regime and Tinubu regime, it's quite different from each other. And I can say there was oil boom under Obasanjo regime. There was real oil boom. And I can say when you are comparing a military man with a civilian government, to me, I mean,
in terms of performance, which are
Obasanjo groove likewise. I can say, to me, I cannot give Obasanjo a good scorecard as I am now today, because Obasanjo caused a lot of havoc within the Nigerian territory. All this, okay, let me start. Let me even tell the beginning to tell you what they abandoned the governance. They were after each other on Atiku and Obasanjo. They were splitting their disgrace in an open place, and you could see the Atiku and Obasanjo, they could not act it so well together, because when Atiku said Obasanjo was telling us that Atiku has sold off all the Nigerian properties, and he was telling Obasanjo too that all the money that you've been collecting from the federal money that you are not is not being allocated for, where did the money go to? So the two of them, please, I don't even want to go through who is the best, who is not the best. Obasanjo himself, he has a lot of who owns the Obasanjo farm? Let's start from there. So you want me to be giving credit to Obasanjo for what? For what? President Obasanjo.
Let's have your take on this.
Okay, if you ask me, I think even a commoner on the street will tell you that Obasanjo has, in comparison, you cannot compare the performance of Obasanjo and that of Tinubu. Obasanjo, of course, has displayed some level of leadership, even though he was not perfect. We could see some level of imperfection, but
in terms of comparison, you can't compare, Obasanjo and Tinubu. For example, Obasanjo, in the area of communication that you and I today, even a beggar on the street have a phone. These are policies that Obasanjo was able to put out there, and today, we know the days of writing letter to somebody in Ogbomosho while you are here, and before it will get to that person, it will take like 3 weeks. Those days are gone. You can just, put out a message, and then within seconds it's already there. You understand? And then we also saw some other reform, like in the area of debt cancellation. Obasanjo came at a time where, in 1999, we just returned to a democratic system from a very long time of military rule. You understand? He came, and we also saw somebody who was so passionate about ensuring that Nigeria is not in the list of countries who are indebted. You understand? We know people like Tony Blair, Bill Clinton, and so many other powers around the world were able to give out conditions to Obasanjo that you must address certain things. You must meet this condition before they can also, provide debt cancellation to Nigeria. And he was able to do that. You understand? And we could also see, how he was able to manage the economy. The foreign reserve, we saw what he left before, as foreign reserve before he left office. So he has been able to demonstrate leadership, but I wouldn't say he was perfect, because there were areas where he has demonstrated some level of undemocratic, tendencies. Like we saw what happened in Plateau State, where it was just a military, should I say, dictatorial tendency, where he removed a sitting governor. You understand? Which was against the tenet of democracy. We saw what he did in Zaki Biam, in OD and the rest. But then, he's human. He can never be said to be perfect. But in comparison, if you want to compare Obasanjo and Tinubu, frankly speaking, it's like you are comparing heaven and earth. That is what it is. You can't. That is the best way I can put it.
My take on that, of course, you know me for what I am. I'll be brutally honest with you. Without a recourse to whose source is God. So to me, there's no basis for comparison between the Obasanjo regime and that of Tinubu. So I give it to Tinubu. The regime of Tinubu today is far better. It's a far cry compared to that of Obasanjo. You see, economically, politically, militarily, secure, in law department, in every ramification, I give it to Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu. Some people, perhaps they were not in Nigeria in the days of Obasanjo. That's why it's possible for them to be saying all this. Now you see, and that takes me to the quotation of the old German, the 18th century German philosopher, Friedrich Engels. He said, man is perennially insecure in that he's always willing to be what he is not and not what he is. So, man is always willing. He doesn't like his present condition, present position, his present town, his present circumstance. He's always drifting towards what he is not. So, in other words, Mike, you are a fat guy. You are on the big size. You want to be slimmer. The tall guy want to be shorter. The one living in Ibadan assumes Lagos is better. The Lagos guy believes it's better up here in Abuja. So the one under military rule believes it's always better under civilian rule. While on the other hand, people under civilian rule, they all clamoring for military rule. That's exactly what is happening to most people making this kind of mischievous and fallacious statement. There's no basis for comparison whatsoever between, you see, in the days of Obasanjo, they came to manage the cosmetic way, the psychedelic or cosmetic approach. They manage affluence, they manage plenty. It was a dispensation, an era of boom. So there was a lot to throw around. But again, in this particular regime, on the other hand, it's a regime of reforms. A regime, you see, a good leader is not necessarily the one who takes people to where they want to be. Rather, a good leader is the one who takes people to where they need to be. And that's exactly what Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu has come to do. And to take Nigerians to where we need to be. So we are in the season of reform. And who is a patriotic Nigerian? When they asked a scholar the other time, he said the patriotic person is the one who is prepared to sacrifice the gains of today for the benefit of tomorrow. And that's exactly where we are today. So we as patriotic Nigerians as good Nigerians, 1 million Nigerians, we should be willing to sacrifice on certain things today for the betterment of the coming generation. And that's exactly what Asiwaju is doing. So I give it to Tinubu ahead of Obasanjo. I don't believe the government of Obasanjo is better than. We also what happened under Obasanjo now. Especially politically.
The trillion of the money.
Look at the Gestapo manner in which state governments were removed rather than in Oyo. Alamesia in Bayelsa, Fayose in Ekiti, Bito for the Dariye in Plateau. Is that what you call democracy? Under all this happened of Obasanjo. Compared to what happened in the case of Tinubu, Fubara, Weekend matter. Look at the adroit, consummate, astute manner in which it was managed in the case of Tinubu, as opposed to the dictatorial, the colonial manner it was handled under Obasanjo. So on a scale of balance, I say 70-30 in favor of Tinubu. 70-30.
Mr. Mike, I beg to disagree with Mr. Johnson. You know, it's simple. The indices are there for everyone to check. You understand? Now let's look at the government we are in now, the Tinubu administration. You know, can we say with all honesty that this government in the area of security has performed up to 10%? Now, if you want to sample opinion of Nigeria, because that is how to gather data now. If you want to sample the opinion of Nigeria on the street without being biased, you understand? If they want to tell you, you know, from their, with all sincerity, can they tell you this government have performed in the area of security? The answer is no. If we are to look at the campaign rhetoric of this government, one of the things he told Nigeria, and it is in public glare, everybody knows it, is that if he does not fix electricity in 4 years, don't vote for him. Should we say that in the area of security, Nigeria has experienced improvement? Yes. The answer is no. Yes. Security-wise, Nigeria has never had it this bad. I am not. I don't have a personal issue against Tinubu. I'm a Nigerian who will want Nigeria to work in my own time. You understand? Why should I? I have always said here, I said Tinubu can change the narrative in 6 months.
Was there no OD? Killing. Killing.
See, look at it now. You are talking about. You are talking about select. Look at it. Did I remember? I told you. I mentioned OD. I mentioned Zaki Plan. I mentioned the unconstitutional removal of governors. You understand? Because these are people who are elected by their people. If we are talking about democracy, we know the process of impeaching a governor. It has to pass through the National Assembly or the State Assembly as a governor. You understand? So we never saw that happen. We saw Obasanjo, and I told you his human is not perfect. But then if you are to place, achievement side by side, we want to say, particularly on what borders on security, which is the primary aim of government. You understand? Should we say, for anybody to come out to say Tinubu has performed better than Tinubu in the area of security, that person, with all honesty, is not being sincere to himself, because we have never had it this bad. I know this Tinubu was, of course, not this insecurity never started under Tinubu, but we saw how it was managed. There was a time under Jonathan, they brought in missionaries to this country, less than 30 people. I heard from a National Assembly person who was from Borno State, who said these guys are less than 30. They all came with computer, that they could just from their computer knows where these terrorists are, and then know the kind of weapons they are having, and they will just deploy 3 people, and these 3 people will just go and neutralize them. At a point they are almost about to finish the Boko Haram, then there was an outcry from the north that these people should go. You understand? Probably if Jonathan was allowed to, we may not be seeing what we are seeing today. What we are saying is that we have not seen pragmatic, workable, plan by this government to address the issue of security. Okay. This is democracy, And then we are talking about a situation where the people surrender their right to govern themselves to a constitutional authority called government. That is Tinubu. Should we say, with all honesty, that Tinubu has performed in the area of security? Should we say, in all honesty, in the area of economy, this president has done so much? I appreciate him in the area of traveling to war investors. Where are the investors?
The investors.
They have traveled around the world for 3 years using taxpayers' money to no investment. Do you know why they have not come, Mr. Mike? Because you cannot have investors in a country that is not secured. Anybody who is bringing his money to invest in your country, you must first of all look at the security of the country. If your country is not secure, why should I invest? We have seen Nigerians moving their money outside Nigeria to invest in other countries because this country is not safe for investment. Because security-wise, you cannot. Electricity, for example, the government has told us, the government who promised to fix electricity.
Nigeria is a destination.
The government who promised to fix electricity in 4 years is already in solar in Asoro. What does that tell you? I will fix electricity in 4 years. Don't vote for me. But now he's using solar. He's telling you that all man to himself.
But we are saying life. We are saying life.
That is not leadership. So what we say, if we want to be sincere with ourselves, we are all masses. I can tell you, when Tinubu came on board, I have told people, I said, even if this man will not achieve in some other areas. See, the problem of Nigeria is restructuring. No, let's not deceive ourselves. If you want to fix this country, restructure the country. You understand? And Tinubu has always been an advocate of restructuring. Tinubu was one of those people who has always talked about restructuring. How come 3 years down the line, you are still, playing, it doesn't make sense. We want to see him take a pragmatic, workable plans. We want to see him, Tinubu can address this security issue in 6 months. Mr. Mike, I can bet you, a serious government. I'm not saying, erase it completely, but you will see that things have really, improved. We can do it in 6 months before election.
Is this said and done? I want to say, what you are talking about, Mr. Tinubu now, President Tinubu, that he has abandoned the insecurity. The insecurity has been going on the ground, killing of those people. It's not every day they will now announce it, that this is the people that will kill, these are the people that will, and I can say, what is facing now, I've said it that is a mole, but don't let us rely only on that mole issue. They themselves, they need to re-strategize, and what the NSA is doing, because the NSA needs to be, collaborate with other intelligence people, that for them to be able to get the things done. But I will say, Mr. President, terrain now will be the best of the best terrain we have ever witnessed. No matter what anybody want to say, but that is my own. So that is the lightning. We're going to have the lightning very soon, because the president wanted to bring light into Nigeria before. It was Obasanjo. Yeah, democracy. But the Obasanjo during his tenure, did you allow us to have that dividend of democracy? When Aaron came to Nigeria, Tinubu was the one that brought Aaron to Nigeria to come and supply light for the whole Lagos. Then they will now move down to other states to replicate the same thing. What did the the solar, there's no problem. That was what the PDP of this world they left. That was what the
Tinubu using solar in Abuja.
Why is he using the solar? What do you expect him to use? Because when he wanted to bring the light, they frustrated them, and as it is, the solar though is even more better as it is. We want the solar. You say what?
Are you saying the rest of Nigeria?
Who are they going to play? They should not have Mr. Obasanjo. You know how many Mr. What? How many more?
Solar while we are in darkness.
You know how much Obasanjo wasted on the power issues? Trillions of naira. Because you're not.
I know the problem. I can fix it. That's what he said.
Oh, he has fixed it to the extreme. Solar. If you can use, you are using solar. Are you not using solar? Are you not enjoying the solar? So to me, it's a good thing to have. He's using solar.
My final take on that is just that come Sunday, just like some people are appreciating the government of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan today, some people are talking good of the Muritala government today. Some people are still going to the past talking about Gowan government. 45 years down the line. Someday after Ashwadola Tinubu will have left office, Nigerians will come to appreciate his good deeds, his wonderful performance in office. We're making road, we're making headway, we're making steady progress, and with time, the macroeconomic policies being put in place by the government, Nigerians across board must also begin to feel the impact, the import of everything being put in place today. I agree, it takes time. I agree, we have a whole lot to do. We have a long way to go. A lot still needs to be improved upon. But again, I don't belong to the category of naysayers, doomsday prophets, and incurable pessimists in our land who can never see anything good in Nigeria. They can never see anything good in our economy. I don't belong to that category. I believe it's going to be well with Nigeria. Peace profound to our nation. Once again, my name is John Sako. Thank you very much.
It is well. Good morning, Mr. Michael. Good morning, our people across the globe. I say happy Democracy Day. You see, I've been hearing a lot of speakers, but I think major bone of contention today is between Obasanjo and Tinubu. Well, if you want to compare these two people, each one of them have, area of strengths. You see, Obasanjo took some decisions that are very wise. He took a very wise decision in deregulating Nigeria telecommunication. That was a very good decision. But if to say he was able to see ahead, he should have also go to electricity and deregulate it. The way he deregulates telecommunication, maybe we will have been able to get electricity right. We cannot rely on one source of power all these years, and our population is keep on growing every day, and we don't have one greedy man standing there. Fall today, stand tomorrow. Fall today, stand tomorrow. There is no way we can get it right. So if to say Obasanjo was able to, the way he was able to have foresight in trying to sell our refinery, if to say he was able to go into electricity and deregulate it, proper deregulation that state generate your own power, you can distribute it. Let's come together. How can we do it? What Tinubu is doing now. So issue of electricity sometimes, even issue of telecommunication is not it. The matter of something that started grow, but you are able to enjoy fast development within that one. But you cannot compare telecommunication with electricity. So what I'm trying to say is this: when we are not talking about democracy, how democratic they are, Tinubu is not democratic, but he's better than Obasanjo when we talk of who is more democratic. Yes, maybe Obasanjo has military tendency. The man is not believing in all this Koraye obedience.
Who is more democratic?
I will choose Tinubu over Obasanjo when we talk of democracy. Yes, I will choose Tinubu when we talk of. Tinubu also was part of victim of Obasanjo high-handedness in democracy. Yes, he was also part of. Let me tell you, it's not that Tinubu has get it right, but there are some decisions Tinubu was taking in Lagos State that it was take a visionary leader to take it, like creation of LCDA in Lagos State. Both Kano and Lagos State has the same population in those days. Before Kano State was divided into like 3 states, nobody know. Before Kano population suit, we don't know until Kano has about 40 local governments, 44 local governments, and Lagos State still remain 20 local governments. How? He took a visionary and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Let's create LCDA so that they don't give us local government. This is our money. Oh yeah, let's create LCDA. You, out of this local government, we can create another one. You will be LCDA. That is a visionary. That is a. Are you gonna listen to them? What did Tinubu do when he was like I said? He did nothing. Look at okay, you don't know what you're talking about. Visionary, but oh yeah, you go there. And Tinubu don't ask federal government to give them the money. You don't ask them to give LCDA money. Give us our allocation that belong to us, the local government money that belong to us. Yes, when you give us, the one you give the existing local government, they will be sharing money with LCDA, and that's what is happening now. It's not that Odokoro is collecting money directly from Abuja. No, the answer is no. The money will reach Ivakodaye and Odokoro, they will share it. Maybe 60-40 or whatever. We don't know how they share the money, how they usually share the money. So we are celebrating democracy today. When we say who really, why Obasanjo tried so, because he returned Nigeria back to democracy in 1979, and maybe that's why God brought him back in 1999 to come and enjoy the good seed they planted. But to me, he was not that democratic. Go and check so many anomalies that was going on under Obasanjo. How did they remove Ladoja in Ibadan? Go and check how they remove Ladoja in Ibadan. Go and check how they remove Ayose in Ekiti State. Go and check how somebody that win primary election was being substituted with another person in Rivers State. If not for God, the most democratic president Nigeria ever was Yar'Adua. Let's say Musa Yar'Adua. So when you are comparing administration, it's like you are comparing children of a different character. One may be timid, he may be gentle, but let's see. So one may be lazy, so some may be fearless, so fiercey, and maybe both. But this thing, you may lack it. All right. So those are the area people need to look at.
All right, we'll move to the comment section. William Barrowman says a major problem with Nigeria is the inability of some people to see obvious truth and say it as it is. A man who told you he would fix electricity is now using solar, and some people still defend him. Olajide, you said solar is a form of...
Yes, solar is a form of electricity. Mr. Mike, look at this road now. Look at this road. This better area. This is solar panel. It's not hydro electricity generator again. So solar is one of the means of generating electricity. It's now what's being used to power all our roads now. All roads.
Why didn't you tell us that?
Yeah.
Why didn't you
electricity.
tell us that?
You see, but some people don't understand what they mean. Some people don't understand what they mean by electricity. You can generate electricity by many means. Generator is a means of generation of electricity. Solar is a means of generation of electricity. Wind, solar, heat, power, source of electricity is so you are going to be myopic. When you have myopic people, when they are very myopic, solar,
how many Nigerians can afford solar? That is the question. How many Nigerians can afford solar? I am not saying solar is not part of electricity, but it is only the high class that can afford solar. How many Nigerians? No, if the president tell Nigerians that he will give us solar, what the tell us was electricity. Not come here to tell me solar. No, the presidency himself did not pay for the tariff. That was why he switched to solar. Electricity company disconnected as of now because they were all in debt. So the president should not come and start giving us bamboozles with lights coming to fine. Solar is a form of electricity. But no. But the question remains as no, sir. But the question remains. He didn't promise us power, and there was a time he promised us solar. How many Nigerians can afford solar? You cannot afford solar. When you see myopic submission, when people are coming and talking from both sides of their mouth, many sides of their mouth, you know they don't understand what they're talking about. Listen to me, let's go to talk. Excuse me, when you promise electricity can be generated from by many ways, many means of generation of electricity. What we want is electricity generation too many means. I'm telling you, how many Nigerians can afford solar? That is subject matter. See, I will bring a solar engineer here on Monday to come and give us a breakdown of solar engineer. Which one is listen, Google it. Who is a solar engineer? How many side road engineer you bring here? A side road engineer. Mr. Mike, no, listen, a side road engineer. Mr. Mike, 2 million from Nigeria social media. You want to bring a solar engineer? Millions of Nigeria social media. This is talking to adapt people. You know that people on social media are more than what I say. You give the solar. What is the initial idea, the initial plan? Why solar idea is being introduced into Nigeria? When they find out that there's a lot of corrupted that's an excuse now. Excuse. That's an excuse. Let's introduce solution. That is solar. This is the idea. Ashwadi Bola Tinubu that there's a lot of corruption in Nigerian system, in the power sector, and they were like, what can we do to reduce this corruption, to make sure we push this corrupted element aside? Okay, now
we've tried to manage the situation of electricity, but the enemy of Nigerians, they are Kaba. They are Christian. What Mr. President does is, okay, let's introduce solar. Okay, solar. When you introduce solar, it will reduce population of people relying on power, electricity power. Do you understand me? So who want to remain there? We remain on electricity. While some we work with power. Other infrastructure companies can benefit good electricity. Can make use of light. That's people rich. They come here every day. Mr. Bakadekule, when he made mention of solar, I am not saying solar is not a very good idea, but on the basis of on the basis of federal government itself switch to solar because of the high cost of electricity tariff. What do you mean by federal government? Yes, our government switch. Yes, that is stupid choice. It's an individual choice. Federal government switch because of the high cost of the electricity tariff. It's a record that Nigerians now, there is always an epileptic power supply. Most Nigerians resort to generator. So now, this idea of solar, the presidency did not initiate it. Nigerians think outside the box to do it themselves. His government, His government giving them the solar free of charge. His government subsidizing it. No, it's a question. It's about his government. His government subsidizing it. His government subsidizing this solar. Is the government subsidizing it? That's the question. No, because wait now. I know, sir. Because wait now. Because you said Tinubu. I know, wait now. You said waiting. You said Tinubu initiated solar. If Tinubu initiated solar, why can't he subsidize it for the average Nigerians? Yeah, sorry. No, so how many Nigerians can afford solar here? How many Nigerians can afford solar? I'm sure you going to shout here. You can afford solar. How many must you get? You can afford solar. The panel is in my place already. If I have I'm not using solar. But I have the panel. I have the panel. Did I say I have to solar? He wants the rope play. He has the panel. He has the panel. You don't get the panel. Let me go around. I can put the table on here. Make me go around. Make me go left in my ear. Let's go now. You don't get the panel. I'll pay money to the side of you, and I will mark. Before you get there, I will mark you. I will leave the money. It's in all honesty, if you look at this issue of installing solar system in the presidential villa, it's two sides. Okay. First of all, no matter how you want to look at it, there are some offices that are important. Yes, it's not because Tinubu is not installing it in Bodilon. After he leave that place, the solar system will still be there. There are some places that need priority. There are some information that need electricity 24/7 that need to be run. And if you still want to look at it from another angle, it sounds selfish. Yes. So if you want to balance the thing, that's how you will look at it. That this thing sounds selfish, but at the same time, the life of every Nigerian is so important. But let me tell you, we cannot say life of Nigeria is so important, then we joke with some other people, some other important office. That is the system everywhere around the world. There are some offices, go and see how America protect the president. Yes, there are some offices that need protection. There are some places that electricity must be there. But if I'm Mr. President, I will have made this thing a national thing. Not that it is done from his own presidential filler. If I want to say let's have an alternative, so you cannot be saying Tinubu initiate solar. What do you mean of that? Solar has been exist before Tinubu come. we have been enjoying solar. In my where I'm living, we have something that provide us light. We have bought it almost 4 years. Yes, and it's still there. It's not Tinubu that got. So let's forget about that one. So if you want to balance the two sides, if you want to balance it, there are some offices. Light must be there. Without addition, like the president. Of course, yes. Light must be there. So, but if Mr. President want to do it, if he want to look at the other side, you will just think that okay, if I'm doing, let's run it the way we are doing it. Let's look for another source of, electricity, and make that panels of a thing a national thing. This is what APC promised us when they were coming. That there are some places that they are going to install little. Power generator. Okay, go to redeem. You not say so that. I should be using that on me. No. I'm paying for it. I should be using that on the president. What am I paying for it? I am paying for electricity. I should be touching the president. What are you paying for? Something. This is a service. This is let me tell you, the Aja APC sold. When have you paid NEPA? When APC, when they were coming, do you know what they promised us? I listened to Osibajo. He said there are some commercial up that are going to give them chance to generate their own power. That's what Osibajo told me. I hear it with me. I know this one became 2015. He said, like that computer village, you generate your home. Is that not sound like a deregulation of electricity? He said, what can make a regime to be generating? You know that the regime is generating their own power. Yeah, definitely. Kenaland, they are generating their own power. So why can't we have a system where all this business up and is getting there? Recently, I hear information. All this Oluwole, all this industrial area in this Ogba. Yes, it's not this time where they drink beer. You know, there are so many industrial areas here. They are doing something like that. Installing their own source of power. That is how we cannot rely on that dilapidated greedy all the time. That's not the way to go. So what APC promise us is what they should bring up. That's what we are expecting. They should speed it up. As simple as that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Mike, today is June 12th, Democracy Day, according to Nigerian government. But it is well with Nigeria. Those who believe in democracy, well, for me, I believe that we are not in democracy. Yes, we are not in democracy. And we are not practicing democracy. Mike, let me give you an instance. Even before the government came into being, people were living without being governed. Without a central government, people were living their life without a central government. So anybody that is telling you that you are seeing very clearly, because you move around, you say you're under democracy. In Nigeria, okay, we are not under democracy.
So we are under which one?
Oga, we are operating by an abstract law that governs the existence of humanity. If we are being governed, Mike, listen, if we are being governed, Nigerians will be truly independent. The institutions that make up democracy has been taken away from us.
He has not taken from me anyway. I'm a Democrat tomorrow.
That is why I made that statement. Before the government of Nigeria came, or the Britain came, or the Portuguese came, people were being governed by which law? I'm not saying for me in democracy in Nigeria. I don't know whether they are operating democracy. I don't know what they are operating. Because you cannot go to anywhere in the country today that's electoral fraud. That is one. The judicial system is not independent. The executive, rascality, corruption, everything, all the sectors, institutions that are supposed to protect, that make us believe that we are in democracy. But it was not quite too long. A lot of people were talking about Obasanjo. Yes, these are the people. If you look at the statistics, like from 25 years, including the military rule and whatever, Nigeria has not been able to hit up to 20% dividend of leadership in Nigeria. 20%. It's a country where citizens are being killed on daily basis, no justice. The judiciary is in the democracy.
Are you saying they have nothing to celebrate?
Okay, what are you celebrating? Okay, and that is, yes, you can have what you, because you can believe that you have something to celebrate. That's okay. But when it matters most, you will know that you have nothing definitely to celebrate. I'm not going to take you far. The day Nigeria returns to democracy, Mike, all of us will know. Ada wo chintu na menegere esule. Don't know the tell blind man a person dump say war they come. Not the person will tell him. How did Fela describe the democracy of Nigeria? What did Obasanjo say recently? Say this democracy, where would they talk for Nigeria? You know they work for Nigeria. So what Nigerians are experiencing is total abstract rule that has nothing. Anybody, I cannot really walk up to go to Area G as a citizen. What have I benefited from Nigeria?
Oh yes, if you're not celebrating democracy,
celebrate yourself.
I am celebrating democracy.
Bro, celebrate
is coming from ordinary.
Bro, celebrate democracy. Show me in that Nigeria here they celebrate. You're entitled to celebrate democracy. But once it comes, bam, you gonna say democracy day.
Chinedu of Lagos.
Nobody should not be Chinedu of Lagos. It's not a matter of Chinedu of Lagos. And I tell you, I'm confidently telling you, that there's no democracy in Nigeria.
There is democracy.
Mike, if there is democracy in Nigeria today, as you want us to believe, I will not believe you. For the past 60 years or thereafter, we have not been able to combat ordinary insecurity. Okay, where is the judiciary? Can you go to court now and get judgment without paying anybody? Can INEC do the needful? Can you boast of leadership now that you can actually give at this point? Boss, I'm waking up in the morning as a Nigerian citizen. So what the hell are you talking about? You want INEC to do the needful? Or to your favor, you boss, excuse me, you have had your time. You have had your time. And I'm telling you, boss, I'm telling you that people who corrupted democracy should not make us to believe that there's democracy.
INEC is your problem.
I will not accept that. I will not accept that. In a lawless situation, nobody, not even the police, not even the army, not even the judiciary can rescue an ordinary person on the streets.
100% correct. You understand the concept of democracy. You don't sit here saying.
Mike, honestly, sorry, it's not a matter of Chinedu of Lagos. What I'm telling you, Mike, if you cool down, forget sentiment. I would have loved if Nigeria will retreat their steps, sit down, jettison this McPherson or rubbish thing, throw it away to the gutters. Sit down and say all the whole ethnic lords in Nigeria, minorities, come to Aso Rock. Let us decide how we want to govern this Nigeria. First of all, change the name of Nigeria to another name. Because I don't know. But it is hard. They say no-go area. Look at Jonathan. So we not Jonathan say no-go area. Say some areas are no-go areas. Those are the things that will give us the orientation. But everybody believe on ethnic loyalty. Everybody believe on ethnic loyalty. My brother is in the Aso Rock. So one of my brothers will justice. But that is not democracy. They are protesting in Abuja or Kano. No, it does not concern me. About that is not democracy. You witness that something is due for somebody. You deny him because you are there. He have power. He have that. Okay, that is not democracy.
When they are protesting that Iran president was killed.
Imagine a situation that. Imagine a situation that somebody like this honorable man now, Suma, does not know anybody. Does not know anybody, and he want to lead his constituency. You don't need to know anybody in the National Assembly. Nobody should indulge you. Okay, I'm coming out. Then you went through the process that would trigger. Oh, yes, Mike, you understand me sometimes. So that's why sometimes I look you. And I tell you that will trigger a process that will give us competency. Okay, you know, I just pray that one day all these guys that are in Aso Rock embezzling 210 trillion every day, sharing their money, you know, and they say we are in democracy. Okay, they go see 99. If they don't retrieve their footstep and sit down, all the ethnic 300 ethnic nationalities in Nigeria, all of them come down. Like that's what Gani Adams said. He said the democracy. Celebrate yourself. He said democracy. He said okay, go to next countries where democracy is working. Why is it that Nigerian democracy is being questioned on daily basis? Obasanjo tried. Institutions came up. But if you look at the genesis of Obasanjo, where Obasanjo was coming from, what the fellow Nicola Kuti talk about Obasanjo? Many of them now have not been able to sit down and study the philosophy of fellow Nicola Kuti. When you answer, when I say when I get democracy, demonstration of crazy people.
No. There's no crazy people among us.
But now let me just say it. Let me just say it. You know, and you say it's the act of the people that made democracy not to be working. Mike, understand me very well. And there's no way you can make democracy to work without the rule of law.
Do you want the rules of law? Do
you understand? Yes, you do understand now. And that rule of law now is going to put this man at the Federal House of Assembly. That rule of law is going to give this man 24 hours electricity. The same rule of law. Now there's a
All right, thank you so much. I think we need to go.
Mr. Mike, sorry, let me just spend my own little time, but I've not spent my own time. You know, somebody cannot just come on the way. I've not. Because somebody's analyzing a wrong democracy. Analyzing the wrong democracy in Nigeria and democracy to I'm not among these candidates of this. So let me say how it is to be Nigeria. These are wrong Nigeria and they are people of procrastination. These are wrong Nigerians. I need to represent my country. I need to represent Nigeria very well. I need to represent the true nationality of my country. Mr. Mike. What do you want? Correcting us. Let's hear him. Everybody. Let's hear him now. No, let's hear him.
Mr. Chinedu Michael have expressed himself the way Amana he likes. But I will tell you that I'm not a bastard Nigerian. I'm a true Nigerian. I'm a generous Nigerian. And if you want to talk about corruption or the corrupt leader in Asrock Villa and whatever today in Nigeria, you should not forget that he is also part and part of the corrupted Nigerian. Because when we talk about corruption in Nigeria, corruption starts from the grassroots. Corruption starts from the grassroots before you get to councillor level, to local government chairman level, House of Rep, Senate, you become governor, you become Mr. President. You should know that you are coming from grassroots. And the Bible says if the foundation is destroyed, what will the righteous do? You should understand that Nigerians individually, corruption is flowing around among Nigerians in the grassroots level. And if you are not well shapen, you are not well brushed, you are not well taught, before getting to the leadership throne, people should not expect something good for you, because that person himself will not deliver anything good to Nigeria. So if he himself is saying that the leaders at the top there, they are corrupt, he should understand that him himself personally is included among the corrupted Nigerians. You understand me? Let me make my point. I didn't interrupt whosoever when they are talking. You understand me? Build an institution that will work. Do you want the institution to work? You personally? And majority of you are fond of this. Hello. I'm not defending Mr. President. I'm not defending whosoever. But I'm saying it all utterly how it is, and I'm describing some Nigerians who they is and who they are. Okay, Mr. Michael, listen to me. Please. Listen to me, please. Okay. Before you will come up to condemn anybody leadership, you yourself look at yourself. Who are you? I'm good. Which area have you fulfilled your obligation to your fellow human beings, to your neighbors, to Nigeria? You have failed Nigeria in all aspects. You have even failed your children, you failed your wife. You have failed I don't have anything to say, please. Hello, Mr. Mike. Some weeks ago, someone came on this platform and he said Tinubu is the founder of democracy. Truly he is. No, truly I beg to disagree. I know, sir. When you say founder of democracy, did you say Tinubu invented democracy? Which is totally wrong? Where do you put it? See, Mr. Mike, Shawode. Don't know you can buy. We have to make a talk now. Shawode is a fraudster. Shawode is a criminal. Shawode is a criminal. We Shawode. Make a talk. Shawode is a politician. Destroying government. Can I talk? Spare me Shawode. Don't touch Shawode here. Don't touch Shawode here. The same Shawode struggle towards democracy. Shawode had more impact than Tinubu towards the Nadeko struggle. Shawode had more impact than Tinubu. Shawode had more impact than Tinubu. To build up the democracy. Which one? Name the impact. The same Shawode. What was with MKO? Tinubu don't run later. Will Tinubu don't run? What are you saying? Okay, wait. Tinubu don't run. This Shawode play. Tinubu don't run. Which Shawode play? During democracy. Which row? He was a Sudan Union. One row. No one plays one row. One did Tinubu play? One did Tinubu play? Tinubu ran away. Shawode was detained. Shawode was in prison. Shawode was in prison. Shawode was a criminal. Tinubu ran away. What Shawode does is he will have to Shawode stood on ground and fought it to the end. Shawode everything was seized. Because of this struggle, Shawode did not have words. You know why everything was seized? Because of this struggle, Shawode NYC was seized. Because of this democratic struggle, this Shawode went around with a
MKO, and then stuck on ground till the last day. But along the line, Bisi Tinubu ran away.
Iran. Let me answer you.
Tinubu remain Democrat. You should confer to national award. You should confer to national award. What did Joe Igwe do? What was Joe Igwe in democracy? What was the Alakesi because these are Tinubu qualities. What? Showore played a major role. That was idiots. Yes. He said, can I you may not like him. You may not like Showore. You may not like him. But at least Showore deserves national award. That is idiots. That Tinubu conferred national award to today. They are coming to say no.
I think the truth is that Showore deserve award. Yes. Showore deserve award. Who is what is Showore deserve award. But one point I want to make is this: both Showore and Tinubu, both of them, they contributed during the struggle for 2012 election on a different level. Thank you. Tinubu was a former senator. Yes, Tinubu has become senator before 1993. It was during the process of returning to democracy. So the way Showore will participate will be different from the way Tinubu will participate. Tinubu has become senior now. Yes, a rich guy. Showore, and the motive behind your struggle is different. Now you will see the motive behind Showore's struggle. Showore is somebody that stands with his own policy, ideology. Tinubu was enjoying that democracy. It was cut off. And that democracy was cut off, and the thing was penny in. And all what Tinubu wants is to hold on to power. He like power. He's a power monger person. Of course, he was born with power. Mama Magaji was a Alaga since the day of Awolowo. Magaji, I'm coming. That's what I'm saying. Did I say it's a crime? Did I say what Tinubu did? Somebody was saying, yeah, Tinubu, in 1980, we work out together on the streets. I said, you don't mean you don't work out together. Tinubu is different from you. Even if it is not Yaloda that got Tinubu, that you have a model like Yaloda or that you are ahead of your peers. So what I'm trying to say is that the level of the way Showore will play role is different from the way Dele Momodu will play role. I'm coming. Dele Momodu was working with Abiola that time. Am I lying? So, and he also fights. But when he couldn't withstand it, first of all, we have strength more than each other. When he couldn't withstand the power, he ran away. Tinubu also, he was also lieutenant of Abiola. They always see him. Yes, when you see Tinubu, also he was with Abiola. When they couldn't return the power, he ran away. No, I'm coming. In the area, I'm coming. In the time of physical presence, you see Showore. When it's come of financial of people that are fighting for democracy, you see Tinubu, they contributed on a different level. You have spoken well. But my question means that why didn't the president confirm Showore a national award today? That is my question. Because it is still because of basic sentiment. Because what kind of the president? What role did Joe Igwe play? What role did Igwe play? He's the only supporter from the Igbo. Viewers, see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Showore will not collect your award. Yeah, so if you give Showore award, you will not collect it. You get it. Maybe that's why they don't even give him that. If you give him, you will not collect it, and it will go to be a disgrace. You go take him. And if you can't collect him, he will use it to disgrace you. As you won't give him. Or get the kind of speech where they give you that day. You don't go collect that. Right now, you don't sit anywhere go collect that award from Buhari. You don't see it way. They will just disgrace Tinubu. So I don't fault Mr. President not give. Maybe somebody better. We still have so many people that are not be able to receive award. We have maybe another president. We give Showore and Showore will say where I can. But from Tinubu, Showore will not collect.
When someone deserves an award, no matter whether it's a critic or not, we should give him.
Did you mention Sowore? He didn't mention Sowore now. That's what
he did not deserve an award. What are you now saying?
Are you he deserve an award. See, I don't know what Sowore have done to you.
That means he doesn't have an award.
Assembly member.
Because he can't be Tinubu is a thief. Sowore deserve an award. Even if there are some military men that they even mention. Yes, in as much they can mention Colonel retired Brigadier General Ogunsoye Oyinlola as part of people that signed that we should return back to democracy. So Sowore name must be mentioned because Oyinlola was later part of Abacha. So Sowore never enjoyed anything. So what are you talking about?
Now that name is not being mentioned. What about it?
That's a politics.
That simply means he's not in the race.
His
fingerprint is not seen, it's not known. His picture is not seen. It's not known. He's not part of this government. He's not part of this government.
We are in social media era.
You are insulting him.
If you have a smartphone, go and Google what was Sowore struggle during 1993. They will give you.
Let me tell you. No. You are sitting down to be written on Google today. If that's what you want to tell me, you are sitting down to be written on Google today.
The same way you ask me, what Tinubu did. The same way you Sowore profile.
Your profile can be written on Google today.